definition of happy is the ability to deal with things positively. And when I mean that, I'm a pretty optimistic person, and no problem will get in the way of my outlook in life, which should be forever pretty positive. For the most part, again, the worst thing could happen to me, and I don't know where I'd go. I'm just very grateful for where I am, and that's another thing. Gratitude is another big value of mine. Yeah, the main thing is happiness. I've taken a whole class, and I've pondered about what happiness meant for a very long time. I've taken a whole class about it too, the philosophy on happiness, and from there, the thing about me is that I genuinely am pretty happy, and my definition is that I can positively deal with suffering, and I am grateful, and I also feel like it's also to live in the moment, and it is to make a positive impact on others. So I always try to go for altruism route as much as I can for a reason. Yeah. It's a really rough one because I have this whole definition of happiness being I'm able to deal with suffering positively, and I also had, which it was the definition I've lived with since COVID, since middle school, and it's to live in the moment. One of the biggest pillars of my life is live in the moment. It doesn't necessarily, in my definition of living in the moment, it doesn't necessarily mean only think about the present. And it really started with when I used to watch a lot of PewDiePie, and he covers a lot of philosophy, and he is sometimes embarrassingly, right, because he's a YouTuber, a really influential figure, because he would cover different philosophers. Two things really impacted me through PewDiePie. It was stoicism and cynicism. Cynicism is the extreme, and it's something that obviously I'm not actually. There's a person back then who basically lived in a barrel and only had a bull named Diogenes, and he was perfectly content with life with just that, and even gave his only possession, a bull, away when he saw a child drink water with his hands. So Diogenes gave his bull away. And the biggest impact is that it was said that Alexander the Great has said that he wished if he wasn't Alexander the Great, he would be Diogenes. It really shows that money isn't, or just possessions isn't really all that. But it's also like the extreme of just living in the present. He only lived in the present. Like, he would just shit in the road. He did not give a care. Like, this dude was wild. And the main thing is that obviously I'm not gonna only think about the present. Like, it's important to think about the future and past too, but honestly, it was also mentioned about how, it was PewDiePie was reacting to this Bollywood actor who died, and one of his biggest most impactful quotes was how he also found that living in happiness meant living in the moment, and he used the example of that, when he was a kid playing in recess, he didn't think about past or future, he just thought about what it was in the moment. And I really value living in the moment because even I find that it gives me joy to be in just enjoy a scenario. I think it's important, and that I don't know, I just get the most joy out of it personally. And this for example, right, if you go to a concert, most people will get their phones out and record. And there's levels to that, right? Like even I record, but I live in a moment. Like all my recordings are like shaky, and I'm like in it. But you see some people, they like focus on getting the right angle, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know how that's more enjoyable than vibing and being in there. So living in the moment is a big deal for me, right? And I feel like the reason why I have this mindset in the first place is because I am very privileged to be where I am. I'll admit this is a very privileged position to even think that I am content with life. Because I think if anything went wrong, which I mean for the most part, I think most of my life I've been able to deal with things positively. But like I wouldn't be surprised if there was something out there that would change my outlook, and I'm very grateful that's never happened. And I'm able to stay content with life where I am. So, and yeah, I mean, there might be setbacks, and I get sad. Again, being happiness isn't the same as the emotion of being happy. Happiness in life involves going through all emotions. Being only happy, the emotion happy, is unrealistic. And I don't know if some people think that, but worth mentioning, I guess. Like, no, I that's not what I mean by it. I already said my definition a few times, but yeah. I get sad, shit gets hella tough. That's how life is, but my overall outlook will never change. I will still be, for the most part, content with life. Outlook should be chill. Yep. That's about me. Once again, my two definitions of happiness. One is that they can deal with suffering positively, which is the main thing I learned from the class. And then the definition I kept since 2020, which was that I live in the moment. Or happiness to me is to live in a moment, be grateful for, be having gratitude. I feel like having gratitude really, I'm happy because I have this gratitude. If I were gratitude, then I wouldn't be happy. And I don't know if not having gratitude would be a thing, but from what I observe, for everyone I know who's not gratitude, like if you're not thankful for what you have, and you're always needy, and I don't know, they don't seem happy. They're very privileged, but the people who don't have gratitude always seem like they're never satisfied. Which, if you look at it, to be happy is to be satisfied with your life. And, I don't know, people who are not grateful for what they have are always yearning for more, and they take for granted what they currently have, which unfortunately I feel like is a lot of people. And this comes from everything that's happened in my life, all my friends and family, all of you guys, which for the most part my friends and family should be listening. If not, any of you guys are listening. I'm grateful for everything you've done for me, and I'm gonna be here for that. And I say that because at one point I had no friends, or I would consider myself someone who's had almost no friends, or at least not someone who I'm close with. Like, sure, I've had random people I've just play with whoever at recess, but I've never had a close connection with anyone for a long time. And when I'm at home, I don't talk to anyone. I'm just by myself. And I'm used to, even when I'm at school, I don't talk to people. I try to just do it. I just stay quiet. That shit sucked. And that was, as privileged as they sound, probably the only biggest struggle I've ever had as a kid, which is no friends. And now that that's done, it's like, now that I've turned my life around post-quarantine, everything's been chill since. Which is another video, because the shit I've done to change my life around, getting out of my comfort zone, that's another thing I heavily value. Because I've always gotten rewarded getting out of my comfort zone, too. But again, that could be a different video. Yeah, that's about it for the happiness sector.